I think we're live now.
Yay!
We got to do that in the beginning. And we are live.
The gang's up.
And we are live. The gang's all here. It's gonna get weird.
Welcome to the morning wood. Yeah. Oh my god. Spread your butt cheeks. Hurry, everyone.
Everyone spread your butt cheeks.
I can spread this. I look like a cobra trying to look like really scary.
Dude, I'm scared. I'm Scott. Stop. You look way bigger when you do that.
I'm
Turd.
terrified.
Turd.
All right, guys. So, welcome to the morning wood. Shab's in charge.
I'm in charge.
We're all gonna die.
Everyone line up, single file line. Actually, never mind. I'll just bunch up around my dick.
Okay. Everyone bunch up around Shab's dick.
I'll bunch up around
Pass.
No, what? That's it. Kick her off the show. What's up? Where'd Red Eye go?
You couldn't even get that right.
Where did Red Eye go?
Kicked off the
This
wrong
is why
person.
Shabs shouldn't be in charge.
Hold on. Let me see if it works when I click the kick Lev. Hold on.
No. I'm better than you. You know it, okay?
I'm trying to figure it out.
That was the plus.
I'm learning. I'm new to this.
Gosh darn
As
it.
you guys can see, we
He's
got
little.
Fit and Curvy and Low Energy Video joining us today. Red Eye was here. I don't know where he went. Shab kicked him off.
Pissed me off. With
The brutal era of Shabisky begins.
Shabisky the dictator.
Oh my god, can someone turn this train on, please? Someone get Billy in here. Turn this train around.
Mhm.
Ew. No, we're trying to have a good show. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we need John Morgan in here. Come on.
God, you guys just want to ruin everything. Let's bring all the dorks on here.
Hey, it needs to balance out my amazingness, okay?
Yeah, we've got
It's a good-
amazingness, we've got greatness. It's just all around awesomeness today. And Pimp's not here.
You've got awkwardness.
No.
I've got
Mm.
you've got the awkwardness. That would be me, you know.
Stop, Fit. This is awkward.
Adorkable. That's what the kids call
Yeah,
it.
it's
Adorkable.
adorkable.
Ooh, I like that one.
You've
I just
got
like to make Shabs uncomfortable.
me. I'm just a hot mess. So
Stop scaring me.
Can
Oh,
confirm.
that's me every day.
I'm a hot mess. I absolutely did not know how to set a stream up, guys. This is my very first time. Pimp had
You're
to walk.
doing it. You're doing it.
I figured out the thing.
You're a genius.
A genius.
A genius.
I actually thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I think StreamYard's kind of like walks you through it anyway. Like when you're not doing something great, there's a little like bubble that pops up, like you got to click this over here, and it's like, oh, okay. So
It's easier looking. This is the first time I've ever been on StreamYards, like, period. And this looks so much easier than Discord. I mean,
think
as
it's
you.
whatever you're used to, really, because I mean, I know Shab likes using Discord better, and this one kind of is self-explanatory a little bit. Like if you look on the side, you can see like the private thing is for like us, and then they have like you have the comments and all that shit, and I don't know. I've never seen it from this angle. This is like a creator angle. It looks a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm sure what I'm looking at is a lot different than what you're looking at.
Yeah, because I normally look at what you guys are seeing right now, and on this end, there's a lot more buttons.
Right.
I've got
that makes
buttons,
sense.
guys. I can put
Oh,
buttons.
Oh no.
I was always that kid that was like, if the thing said "don't touch it,"
Press
I'm
the red
gonna
button.
touch it. I just got to touch it.
The world destroying button. And everyone's like, no. And you're just like,
Yeah, it's just like I have
Self
to.
detonator.
Like, don't tell me not to do it, because I'm going to have to try to do it.
Missy was kicked out of the kids next door.
I was. That was my favorite fucking cartoon.
It got so creative at times. Like, it was really, really cool. And,
Did you guys watch Codename Kid Next Door?
I seen it, but I wasn't.
I think I've
Like,
seen it, but
big
not
fan
enough
of
to
it.
like understand. Yeah, I think I've seen a little bit of it, but not enough to understand a lot of references.
It was all right. It was no like Scooby Doo, but
Which era of
Rugrats.
Scooby-Doo? Because there's
Yeah.
several eras.
no, I'm kidding. I didn't care for Scooby Doo either, honestly.
Fuck you, Shabby. You had the saddest
No,
childhood growing up.
I am
It's okay.
so with Shab on this. Like, I'm a horror film junkie. I watch scary movies on a daily basis, right? I love that mystery ghost monster shit. But something about Scooby-Doo was just like, this is
Beardshire has the right of it. Vincent Price era. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Yeah, that's what I grew up with.
I don't know. I was never like one of my best friends loved Scooby-Doo as a kid. And I just could never get into it. And I did not like going over to her house after school because she wanted to watch Scooby-Doo and I didn't like it. So it ended up ruining our friendship. I've lost
That was
friends
it?
over Scooby-Doo, okay?
That is serious stuff right there. I remember. Do you guys remember the show Angry Beavers
Yes.
and All Real Monsters?
The Tyson.
Yes.
Yes.
Ren and Stimpy. These are the
Yeah,
cartoons
of
I
course.
liked.
Rocco's Modern Life. Anyone?
Yes.
I watched Rocco's.
Oh,
Most of those are, I think, on. Sorry, I'm yelling. I'm so
Oh,
excited
you're
now.
fine.
I think most of those are actually on like Netflix now. I'm pretty
I
positive.
think
like
Rocco's Modern Life was remade, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was remade. They try to do Animaniacs, and that's just not a good time. But they try to do Animaniacs like 20 years later. I'm like, or you could just show us reruns, and I would also be happy. But
Right.
I also Invader Zim was another good one. I liked the remake of Invader Zim. I thought that was solid. I'm glad they only did.
I
Like
didn't
a
see the
one-off
remake.
thing,
Okay.
though. Yeah, it's just a sort of like a movie, like a couple of episodes slapped together, and it feels like it just picks up where the last episode left off. So it was pretty damn cool. But yeah, no, I so many shows growing up I absolutely loved. Did anyone watch like Extreme Ghostbusters?
No.
No?
No.
The guy who
Heard of that.
oh god, he's actually I think he's the same guy who did all right, you guys talk among yourselves. I gotta find this out because that's gonna drive me crazy. Extreme Ghostbusters, American animated series.
I know when I had my appendix out, like last year at some point, everyone knows I had my appendix out. But the first thing I thought of was that episode from Rocco's Modern Life where he took his appendix on like a trip to the amusement park and on roller coasters because he had never been.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. And
I
was
remember
like,
the
oh, no.
musical when they try to take on City Hall. You can't fight City Hall.
Okay,
And,
here's
and it breaks like the fourth wall, and they're like, "How do you all know the music? How do you know all the lyrics?" Well, we got practice every Thursday. Didn't you see the flyers? Oh, that show was or the nudist episode where they just find a bunch of nudists lying around. That show tried to be far more adult than.
Oh, I remember the nudist episode.
Yeah. It wanted to be far more adult than it could be because it was geared towards kids. The guy who made Megas XLR did the same thing. He went off to do a.
It's like those Ren and Stimpy episodes that are like adults, you know.
Oh, series 1. That was just written for adults. That should not have been seen by children. There was some concepts there that were like, wow.
I remember one where Ren was like, it was Ren, and he was like swimming in between some woman's cleavage, and I was like, yeah, this wasn't meant for children.
Yeah.
But you can see like the ones that they made for kids still had like a little bit of the raunchiness in it. But if you were a kid, it would have gone over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to
I'll go back and-
HECK. Take me in hell.
I'll go back
What
and
were you
watch
gonna
those.
say,
Like
Shep?
watch. Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
Jeff.
No, you go ahead.
Everybody talk.
Somebody go.
Oh,
Somebody
I
go.
know
Come on.
Shab wanted to say something about the Ren and Stimpy thing, so I just
Okay,
Wait, me?
Shabs
forget.
never talks when I'm on, so it's Shab's turn. Shab, talk, because you don't talk when I'm here, and it makes me upset at you. Even though I love you, but don't tell anyone.
Everybody mute and make Shab talk.
Who? I haven't seen much Ren and Stimpy before.
Oh
I
my
don't mean
god.
I don't mean to let you guys down.
Oh,
Okay.
Aww.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna
I'm
have to
gang.
watch Ren and Stimpy during movie night, John Morgan. Like the adult Ren and Stimpy with the boobs and stuff.
After dark.
Oh damn.
Series 1. You need to
Yes.
learn the log song. If you don't know the log song, you
Log
just,
rolls downstairs, rolls over something in chairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog.
Yep.
He's great for a snack. He fits on your back. It's log, log, log. See?
yeah. What's the chorus? It's log, it's big, it's happy, it's wood.
It's wood. It's log, it's log. It's
Better
better
than
than
bad,
bad.
it's good.
It's good.
I
Everybody
won't
wants
sing
to
because your ears will bleed if I sing.
And I'm not going to be a stereotype drinking and singing and being Irish. I mean, I have some fucking standards.
That's
Anyway,
right.
I'm not sad enough yet. I have to look out over over a beautiful coastline and start singing about a love lost because the English came and burned down our farm. You know,
Oh, shit.
I was just a young man.
Oh, Christ. What was the show? Was
Oh,
it
man.
watching Medica's show one day and he put on an Irish accent. He's just gone, top of the morning, my name's Patio Furniture. And I fucking lost my shit. I just thought that was just the dumbest, most silly thing I've ever heard.
Furniture.
Patio furniture, I think from like Ballygo backwards or somewhere like that.
I fucking heard that, and I'd never heard it before, and I fell off my chair laughing. I thought it was so. I say it regularly. I said, "Top of the morning, my name's Patio Furniture. How you doing?" It's like, oh, shame on me.
Most Americans, when they try to do an Irish accent, they only get it from one source, and that is the Lucky Charms Leprechaun. They have no other reference to go from, unless it's the movie Leprechaun.
I grew up watching BBC shows, so I'm good. It's like I notice sort of accents from all over. It's like is it Cornwall where they go proper job, that is proper job.
All right, my love, rise.
They just like seriously villages have got their own nuance for accents in England. It's quite fascinating if you sort of get into languages. You can pick up nuances like what's Joe Carr, the comedian, that lady? She speaks a certain way, and I had this English friend of mine, and she spoke the same way. And I said, I bet you grew up within a village or two of Joe, and it turns out she grew up 2 streets away from her in the same village. So, and I picked that just on her voice and the way she said certain words. I said, you accentuate words just like this comedian, and I bet you grew up in the same place as her just based on language. And it's same thing with Australia. Australia's actually got a lot of nuance to this. A lot of people just think it's one big fat accent. No. There's West Australia sounds a little bit different. South Australia, they sound like gimps. Victoria's just the R word. We won't see. I got your back, boss. But yeah, language is funny and weird.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Americans, how many accents are you guys got?
I love American accents. They go all over the place.
Boston, New York.
Boston is so aggressive.
When you go,
I fucking love it.
When you
they're like Russians.
when you go to certain southern states, you get the real heavy southern drawl.
Texan drawl. It's like fuck y'all.
And there's like multiple Texas as well, different accents depending on where you are.
Oh yeah, it depends on what area of Texas you're in. And I have family in the Carolinas, and depending on what part of North Carolina you go to, the accent can change.
The weirdest thing though is I've got good friends in Omaha, Nebraska, and you think, oh, they all sound like a bunch of they either sound like they're from Fargo or they're all like Midwestern hayseeds, and none of them do. They all sound like the most generic American accents, except for one dude who sounds like he's a surfer bro from California, and I know for a fact he's never seen the fucking Pacific, and yet he's just grew up for some reason sounding like radical, dude.
Dude, it's like totally gnarly, dude. Like, whoa. It's like, yeah, California's got their own one, but I think my favorite is just a twangy sort of middle American accent, like Arkansas, all of those sort of real. I won't say
I
hit
feel like
places, but
almost
just
every
rural.
state has its own accent.
Yeah, and what's the one where the Simpsons made fun of it? It's not chowder, it's chowder.
Chowder. Oh, that's the New England accent. That's
New
me.
England, that's it.
That's
That's
me.
the one.
By the way, how's it pronounced?
Chowder?
Yeah.
Chowder.
Chowder.
Yeah, but say it like
Chowder.
Kennedy. Say it like your Kings or Kennedys.
That's chowder.
Chowder. There we
Chowder.
go.
Chowder.
I'll kill you. I'll kill all of you, especially
It's
those of you in the jury.
And then we've got the Canadian accent, which it's basically just an apology, isn't it? Really, it's just nice.
So,
It's
Sorry.
basically like anything that ends with
Sorry.
ER up here, just put an AH instead of an ER.
Like
Brendar's fun to stream with. His accent just goes. Sometimes he's like sounds like the most monotone person ever, and then he'll just have a moment like just right at the end. It's the most casual thing in the world.
Hey.
And I'm like,
Eh.
he said the thing.
Oh, and the word about.
A boot. He says a
I
boot.
I heard there's some grizzly bears about It's like, oh Jesus, that's no good. But yeah, Canadian accents are great, and Russian accent. I fucking love the generic, stereotypical Hollywood-inspired Russian accents like "niet." Just fucking love that shit.
What can
I
we
love
say?
the
We are
Russian
just low key better at everything than you. It is all right until third act where we need Americans to come in.
I
and save us all.
literally I love the Russian accent. I think it's sexier than a British accent.
And you do love the worst British accent in the world,
I
don't
do.
you?
I do.
Yeah.
I love a Brummy accent.
Birmingham.
Oh no!
Like the Peaky Blinders. Anybody watching Peaky Blinders? I like that Brummy Birmingham black
Women are
country
cancelled.
accent.
Women are cancelled. It's official.
Well, you
They
know,
have no taste.
you don't get to cancel us. When I went to Scotland a while back, I could sit there in those pubs and listen to them talk
Uh-huh.
all night long. That's
I
a sexy
have
ass
a couple
accent.
of friends from Birmingham, and I told them all like just talk. You could literally read me the instruction manual to a washing machine, and I will be over the moon smitten.
Ugh. I see
All right,
that,
Shabs,
but I
your
wouldn't.
turn. What accents
Yeah.
do you like, Shabs? We're making
Which
Shabs
one-
talk because anytime
which one-
I'm
Shut
on,
up,
he doesn't
pervert.
talk.
Yeah.
That shut up.
Which
Okay, I'm
accent
thinking
gives
about
you a
popping.
half chub?
It makes you
What
want to
is
rub
a
your
good
nipples that are
full
halfway
flop?
down your chest.
Well, you know?
British.
What makes it go
accent.
fuck?
Yeah,
What type
Yeah.
of British accent?
I
Come
don't
on.
know. One of them.
Give us an example of someone you think has a very sexy voice.
It's the Queen, isn't it, Shab? Tell us it's the Queen.
Oh yeah, she's a
One wishes to give Shabisky a gum job.
I'll take. Hell yeah,
I wouldn't even say no. This is for bragging rights.
yeah. I'll be the new king. Sounds
I think
great.
that's not how that works.
Hey,
I'll just
yeah,
ancient
it is.
tradition.
No, it really doesn't work that way.
No,
All right. Well,
What?
all right. Quick question: why wasn't it King Philip instead of Prince Philip?
Because I wear the pants in this household, bitch.
Yes.
Isn't it because Queen Elizabeth was part of the bloodline and Prince Philip wasn't?
I thought because he was like from an eastern branch, like he was Greek. And
Yeah,
Greek
like
were
he
kind of, like,
wasn't-
pseudo
Yeah.
brown.
He wasn't like pure enough to be king or something like that.
Although he was actually majority of his blood is Danish, but he was born in Athens, I think it was.
Yeah, and then they had to leave from there because I think the locals had a gut full of supporting the lifestyles of the rich and famous, and we'll leave it at
And they
that.
replaced it with dictatorship, who replaced it with the Nazis.
And
Yay!
that had worked out perfectly for everybody. Huzzah! And the
And
world
Greece hadn't had a problem ever since then.
no, they're really good with their finances.
Old people don't have to eat food out of dumpsters. No.
No.
At one point, they were so poor they were honestly thinking of selling Crete to the Germans. How would that even work?
What's
It's
Crete?
co-
How do you
Like Monopoly, you get a card.
Wait, what is Crete? Spurs?
Oh,
What is Crete? Are you talking about
what's
like the
Crete?
country?
I don't.
the island? The island of
Okay.
Crete.
That's what
Like
it,
the
that's what I
massive
thought.
flat island. It's
Yeah.
huge.
It is pretty big, and
And they were thinking that the German, they owed so much money to the Germans that they were literally going to cede a whole island to the Germans in like 2000. And when did the financial crisis hit? 7?
I mean, I would take an island.
It's one hell of an island. And it's full of ancient tombs.
it is too.
Yeah, so that sounds
A
like a place I
haunted
don't want to go
island?
to.
I would totally take a haunted island.
I will go
Give me-
if he's in charge.
You're like minotaurs? That's how you get minotaurs.
Give me the haunted island. I want it.
Snakehead ladies and all of that weird stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Missy Ann's is going to be recreating Assassin's Creed Odyssey, jumping around, synchronizing on top of buildings.
I will literally be running around the island like parkour.
Oh
Parkour.
God, Laura Croft.
Parkour.
You couldn't parkour. The second you jumped into a building, your boobs would bounce you off and you'd go and crash. You
You just tape them down.
need a binder.
Which reminds me, I was watching a video this morning. I don't know. Some people might. I think Fit and Kirby will definitely know who this is. Life of a Free Spirit, Callie.
Yep. Callie.
So she was reviewing not reviewing, but making a video of all of Amber Lynn Reed's weird TikToks. And if people don't know who Amber Lynn Reed is, she is a very problematic YouTuber who weighs about 600 pounds, but has a weight loss channel, whatever. Big, huge history with Amber Lynn. She's been on YouTube for a while, but Callie was going over the TikToks, and apparently Amber does this thing where she puts her chin on her chest, but she's
Yep.
so big that her chin will rest like on her cleavage. And Callie was
Yep.
like, I don't even think that's a thing. Like, how is that even possible? And I was just like, but I could do it all the time.
Jesus.
Damn.
All right, Missy. I've been asked this about my beard. It's time I ask this about your boobs. What could you fit comfortably inside your cleavage for like practical sake? Do you put notes inside it, coins? Because I know some women.
I put
And
my
I know-
phone in there. I put my lighter in there. I'll put my dab pen in there. I'll put my lighter in there. Sometimes I
you
put
could
my
walk.
bowl in
You can
there.
walk with
Like,
it, right? Like you can
Yeah.
actually walk. Okay.
like I've literally just
Yeah,
stuffed
I-
like 5 things in here. Like here's my tarot cards. I can probably put these in there.
Welcome back to
so-
Will It Fit? Missy Ann
All right.
edition.
well,
All right. So what?
So-
You've got TARDIS titties basically. In,
The
So
boobs
my-
of Infinite Hope.
so
my
it's like
boobs are
Doctor
not
Who's
as big as
TARDIS.
Missy's, but I can fit a lot of stuff in my bra as well.
How-
There's been times, Missy might laugh at this, there's been times I've come home after work and ripped my bra off because that's my favorite part of the day. And I'll have notes, I'll have my crystals fall out of my bra, things I forgot I put
lost
in there.
things.
My phone.
Yep. My mom
Oh.
used to yell at me because I would keep my phone in there, and she'd be like, "Stop putting your phone in there. It's making people look at your cleavage." And I was like, "People are gonna look at that anyway."
I always thought we weren't supposed to do it because it's probably not good to have your cell phone near your titties. Like
That's
some
what I
type of
thought
weird
too. Like, oh, they were
transference.
like, oh,
I don't know.
cancer or whatever. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but what about your pocket? If it's in your
Yeah, I
back
know.
pocket, you're
That's-
gonna get butt
but
cancer.
that's-
If it's in your front pocket, you're gonna
That's
get
what they
ovary
told
cancer.
us.
Like,
Right. That's what they would tell us years ago. Like, oh, don't put cell phones or anything like that in your bra because it could cause breast cancer. I'm like, it already runs in my family. It'll be fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
So
But yeah,
So
I
you
used,
go-
I used to stick a whole bunch of shit in there.
I
I need to
remember
ask.
going home, taking off my stuff, and like things that I thought I legitimately lost would just like fall out.
loose
Yeah.
change. That's what I was going to ask. There'd be how much loose change is in there'd be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Surely, just the amount of.
If
Yeah.
school bullies were to turn you upside down, you were like a cartoon. Like you just be like jingling.
Oh, no,
out of
basically,
your
yeah.
chest.
The school, I had one dude in 8th grade try to pop my boob. 'Cause
Wow.
He was convinced that I stuffed with balloons every day. So he came up to me with a pin and tried to pop my boob.
We had some scumbags in our school. I don't think that ever happened once. Although we did have a guy who tried to sneak on the girls in the showers. He got himself expelled for that. That was the worst that ever happened.
Creeper.
But Oh, pure creeper. And you know what? I saw that happen. He got dragged out and the teachers and the principal came out. And the biggest grin on his face, I don't think it processed that he was done. Like, he was like, I saw tits. He actually said that to them. He literally said that. He wasn't mentally challenged or anything like that. He was a little bit of a scumbag, but he wasn't mentally challenged. He really didn't grasp that there are consequences to doing a really shitty thing like that. I know he's a kid, but this was like, he was about maybe, I'd say, latest 15, 16, old enough to know better.
Right.
Like, way old enough to know better.
He's already just earned himself a place on the sex offenders list, basically. Congratulations.
Yeah, he got expelled. In fact, apparently his parents had to move to the other side of Dublin because there was no other school that would take him.
There was a girl that went to school with my kid, and apparently at some point in middle school, because my kid's going to be a senior this coming September. So this is some point in middle school, and the girl sent a video around to all of the 8th graders or whatever it was, of her letting her dog fuck her.
Ooh, I've met. All right, you know that meme, white girls fuck dogs? That meme, unfortunately, in my experience, has turned out to be true. A lot of white girls.
Yeah, this chick literally let her dog like fuck her, made a video of it. I don't know, but she filmed it and then she sent it to all the kids that she went to school with, thinking I don't even know what, because then they moved.
Is that supposed to get like street cred? Like, you can't see me right now because I look like a busted can of biscuits because I'm on night shift, but like, I'm horrified. I don't understand why that would even pop in your mind as a great idea.
Why
would you then video record it? Yeah, why would you do it? Why would you record it? And why would you
did its plan?
And then why would you
why did you distribute it? Also, does that count as like CP? Can I say that on this channel? I'm just like, does that count as child pornography?
I think so. They were middle school kids. They were, like maybe 11, 12.
Oh, yeah, that's technically distribution.
Because the next year, literally, like, there's something wrong with the kid. Like, I live in a big city, so there's a lot of kids here. And the next year, there was a couple, 2 kids that were dating, that ended up getting into a really big fight. So the girl went and sent all the nudes that the boy had ever sent her to everyone on the group Snapchat. That was the entire grade. Then the boy, in retaliation, sent all of the nudes that she had sent him into the Snapchat. So not only were they children participating in revenge porn, but they were also children participating in distribution of child, so both of them ended up getting in like serious fucking trouble, and the police were involved, and they had to have this huge like meeting with all the parents of all the kids, and they had a whole week of like sex harassment education and all that stuff for the kids. Like, it was a big fucking mess.
Well, I mean, it's good that you said like the classes were from the school, right? The school held those classes for those kids. Well, it also, I think a lot of people, well, maybe not. I would hope people would agree. It also starts at home. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that your kids can get around any blocker you have. Like, if you have parental blocks and stuff on their phone, they're going to figure it out. They're going to have a look around and figure out how to get around that stuff. So I know we can't be I have a stepdaughter, just for reference, and she's a teenager. So these are the types of things I worry about. Granted, she doesn't live with us, but it's still scary. So
you can't be helicopter parents. You can't, like, that's
no, we can't be helicopter parents.
Right.
They have to figure this out on their own, but I think there's also something to be said. We have to have these conversations with the kids.
Guidance.
Like,
what you have to do is just make sure that you're treating them, teaching them in, having morals and guiding them into what's what's right and what's wrong and why it's wrong and why it's right.
Yeah.
You know, not only
Because something that. Go ahead, Missy. Sorry, go ahead.
not just blindly telling them, well, this is wrong and it's just wrong and that's how it is. Like you tell them it's wrong and
Yeah,
why.
that doesn't teach
worse,
them anything.
bring religion
So,
or morals into
oh
it,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. So like the situation Missy's talking about, you know, I've had to have similar conversations with my stepdaughter, not for that reasoning, but like something like that during school. And I had to explain to her, I was like, you do understand that if your classmates are sending, receiving those types of things, y'all could get into a lot of trouble at your age.
Yeah.
And she didn't understand that. So I started explaining to her, this is why it's wrong. Because you could get into a lot of trouble. And, you know, in some states at your age, y'all could be tried as adults. And that's forever. That does not go away.
Nope.
So yeah, like you're saying, we can't helicopter parent our kids, but we also have to guide them and explain things to them. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us were like, when you're a teenager, you think you freaking know everything and know the world and the internet's not forever and things go away. But these kids don't understand that even Snapchat, even Instagram, everything you put up, once it's out there on the internet is literally forever.
Wayback Machine. That's what I'm gonna say. I guarantee if anyone wants to dig hard enough, they can find shit about me because I grew up on the mean streets of DeviantArt. Oh yeah, and yeah. Red Eye both knows I'm playing it and knows that I've seen some hell, especially in the early days, the My Little Pony days, whatever the fuck that shit turned out to be. I went back to it a little while ago and was like, what has happened to this damn site? But and Newgrounds as well.
I miss that I cannot find anywhere. Fucking rotten.com.
Really?
Where is
Did they
that?
honestly take it
Really?
down?
Yeah, can't find rotten.com.
Because we used to do that in school on there.
My
I
friend
used to
showed
watch
me
it
that.
just because I'm a fucked up individual, you know,
No.
and I
You
would
see
go on it for fun.
Did you see the video of the guy high on angel dust in like Philippines being told to walk out in front of a truck and he just gets discombobulated? Like the truck hits him so fast, like his limbs fly off.
I've seen so much on that site. They had a whole folder at one point that was just the weird like Japanese picture porn from like the 14 and 1500s, where it would be like a man and a woman and their faces were their genitalia and their genitalia were their faces.
I used to know the word for that. They're like wood carvings and later on paper. And
then there would be like one dude and he's fucking like 7 bitches and he's got like his big toe in like one bitch and his other big toe in another bitch and like girls on finger. Like it was the craziest artwork I'd ever seen. And I'm like,
and that's why your expectations from men are too high. We can't compete with that shit, okay? Like we only got the one. we do our best with it there, Missy.
Sorry. Rotten.com ruined men for me, I guess.
Yeah, that I was introduced to that website. My friend showed me a picture and it was something like someone that got skittled by a subway. So it was just, I just went, you got no, and just walked out. I don't like it. That doesn't float my boat. And my friend was fucking just infatuated with that site every day. Just go, oh, dude, rotten.com, come have a look. I go, no.
You knew the type of kid in my school that had some problems when they kept on looking at Rotten after the shock value wore off and the rest of us kind of wandered off. Like the first time we'd see like a guy putting his hand into a meat grinder.
I think I'm the girl with I'm problems. I'm the one with problems.
Well, the guys and the girls always were separate unless they were involving in trying to get their first BJs. But like for the most part, we always had our different things. But I think girls did go on Rotten as well. And I mean, obviously they did, but they probably did it in the comfort of their own home. But what I always remember about it was there was this one image that always put, to this day, it just clearly was basically rape. And it was a picture of this like small little person, right? Quadriplegic, so no arms, no legs, and getting fingered by this dude with this tiny little camera focusing on her. And I was there like, what
That's
the?
not okay.
She has no idea what's going on. Like you could
No,
see in her
that's not
face,
okay.
she was kind of like not all there. They might have drugged her or something like that. But like people would look at that and go like, I was like,
No, that's not. I liked it for the gore and shit and like the weird 15th century Japanese porn. But
well, nowadays
not
that's
okay.
just called hentai haven.
yeah, that is true. This is
R.I.P.
this is
hentai
so
haven.
much like different than hentai. This
I know.
this is
It was,
hentai on a whole other level.
I don't know. I've seen some fucking hentai.
I have to. Dude. I have to.
I just never looked at seafood the same way ever again after I learned of its existence. Especially calamari, I'd just go, where has that been?
Oh, speaking of, did you ever see that Chinese girl on YouTube who would like eat the raw seafood while it was
Yes.
still alive?
That's
Yes,
no.
That was fucked up. That was just so
Yeah,
fucked up.
I think that was just for shock.
But you know what? There's a double standards right there. She's so well off. She was untouchable. They didn't block her channel for the longest time or anything. And she even made videos like, haha, you can't do anything. And then she'd get like a crab or something and just start slamming it with a hammer.
That is weird.
Yeah, it is strange how that doesn't trigger any animal cruelty laws, isn't it? When you do that sort of
Because
thing.
there was the guy from Spain that Critical called out. And he got called out, but only after 2 years of like, didn't he put... I'm not going to say it. He did something horrible involving an animal. And it was like clearly live on camera. And everyone was saying how disgusting it was. And he was like, this is really funny. And then no one did anything. It was like there for 2 years straight. Until like a really big YouTuber like Critical came around like, I always want to call out just how crazy this motherfucker is. And not in the good
the
way.
dude that ended up being a murderer that they made that You Don't Fuck with Cats documentary about? Or are we talking about a different dude?
You don't fuck with... This guy was from Spain.
Luca something. Or
Luca Magnotta.
Magnotti
Yeah.
or something, I think.
Let's see. Canada's most infamous murderers. No, this is the guy. This is the motherfucker. He was like a gay porn star. He, if I'm right, didn't he like kill a woman and like eat her on a live stream or something like that?
God damn.
Luca
Let's
did
see.
a whole bunch of crazy shit, but they ended up finding out that he was the one. If you watch that You Don't Fuck with Cats thing, it's on Netflix. He was the one they found out that was it wasn't sexual what he was doing to the kittens, but he definitely snuffed out the kitten's life on live stream. And then like came back later and played with the kittens like dead bodies.
Yeah.
And he went on to like be a murderer and stuff. There's a
Yeah,
whole
he-
documentary
Wait,
about it.
who is this? Who?
That
Oh, okay.
Luca Magnotti something
Hold
like
on.
that.
I got the. I'll send the link in the private chat here. I've got
If,
Thank
the.
if you have
'Cause I'm-
Netflix,
I'm
go
sh-
on
Thank you.
that documentary "Don't Fuck with Cats."
Yeah,
And that's
because
what it's
I'm
about.
huge. I'm huge into true
This was-
crime.
this is
and
pretty
I don't
big
think
news.
I've heard of this. I don't think. Well,
was only
maybe
a few
I
Started
years
have.
ago.
out with suffocating kittens, and then he worked
Maybe
up
the
to
name-
murdering.
You don't recognize this guy's face?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
What do you
I
think?
mean, I may
Shab?
have heard of it. Maybe I'm just not remembering.
Shabba-dabba
What'd you
ding
call
dong.
me?
I just called you Shabba Dabba Ding Dong.
Ding dong.
I've never heard of this cat fucking porn site you're talking about, Missy. I never been to it.
Missy's a good boy and he didn't do nothing. He's a
Shabby
good boy.
likes good, wholesome
Site.
dog
It's a
fucking.
documentary
He's a white girl.
on fucking Netflix called "You Don't Fuck with Cats."
They have
Yeah,
cat porn on Netflix?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus
The
Christ.
fuck?
Yes, that's exactly what I
That's
said.
Yeah.
well.
Cancel Netflix.
Gee,
This
oh,
guy
Netflix.
does look this guy does look familiar.
Yeah, that.
Well,
was
I know
just-
what I'm going to be researching. I'll be researching this at work tonight.
Oh yeah, he's
Kill
a
time at
fucked up
3
dude.
morning.
He is seriously twisted.
YouTuber. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, though. So you guys talk, and I'll try to find the link to the guy I
So-
was thinking of.
Was this a case of the internet basically being weaponized against one person? They tracked the dude down through hints off
It
the internet.
was-
Is one of those cases?
It was a bunch of people who found this. They were like animal rights activists, and they found this video of this guy who had suffocated kittens on a live stream, and they were trying to figure out who that was. So it took them like years and years to like go through all the video, because he would post multiple videos coming back and playing with the kittens, like corpses that he froze.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it took them years to like figure out, like they would examine the doorknob to try to like narrow down what country the dude was from. And
Okay, yeah.
they were listening to like background. So they were using the internet to find who did this to the kitten. And it just turned out to be a dude that evolved from doing that to kittens to doing it to humans.
Jesus Christ. So
But he had some weird fucked up like mentality where he wanted to be this like infamous sleuth serial killer, like I'm the best, I'm a model, I'm gorgeous, and you can't catch me. Like it was like his mentality was real twisted.
sounds like it. I do love it when the internet does that. Another really good example was in Mr. Just Do It decided to do his little flag thing, and they kept tracking his flag down.
Yeah, they found the flag and they brought it down.
They found it more than once. He's moved it several times. They found it next time it was on top of some building, and people were trying to scale this building, and it's fucking incredible. They were using they'd notice aircraft flying over, and they'd look at the way constellations were sitting in the sky so they could get an approximate
It's
time.
kind of creepy, the level of it. I mean, Missy Ann knows all too well people who like obsess over someone to like a creepy degree. But I mean, against celebrities, we kind of expect it. But I mean, the age of what is a celebrity has become vapid. I mean, I've had people kind of stalk me since I started streaming, and I don't even have 300 subs yet. It's just one of those weird things that creep.
It's frightening though when humans band together. It's like a hive mind forms, and they can just like finding that flag that first time was a bit of an awesome thing, just for a bunch of people working together for a common goal. No one was going to get physically injured. They were just, and they ended up finding it by getting the guy in the area just driving around tooting his horn until they could hear it over the live stream. They went, "We can hear your car tooting," and he's pulled up and you see him grab the flag and put in a certain red hat in its place that may have had a certain motto on it, which in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with that motto.
Nuka-Cola, folks. I want to stress this enough. This is the proud product of the Nuka-Cola Corporation. It gives +5 rads. You can't see it from this angle. I'm not taking it off because I'm quite bold underneath. But yeah, it's insane, just the level of like obsessiveness people will come over a person. That's why I respect anyone who keeps their anonymity as long as possible, because the second you lose it, you've lost it forever. You are never getting that shit back, and it's only going to be downhill from there. Because sorry, yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say if someone wants to find your information, they're going to. Especially in today's and age. So like you're saying, if you can keep your privacy as long as possible, yep.
And that's why I like those women who are like trying to be blackmailed by guys who are like, "We've got your nudes. Like, give us 30,000 or else they'll know." And they're like, "Fuck that," and go on Instagram and show their ass and be like, "Here you go." Like I'm being blackmailed, so it's my body, my choice.
Yeah.
You take your power back,
Exactly.
because
You're gonna threaten me with like exposing shit about like I'll expose myself before you ever fucking threaten me.
Ooh, here's one thing that the Hive Mind did in good instead of evil: the Josh fight.
I
That
don't
shit
know
had
what that is.
the Josh. The Josh fight.
Nope, don't know.
You hold on.
What's a Josh?
You're learning on Monday. This is great.
Today is a learning day.
Josh
like
fight.
that.
Josh, do you know what a Josh fight is?
Really? It was
What?
like the news.
I don't know what it
the,
is.
The Josh fight. Okay.
Let me look this up.
Is it Drake and Josh?
Uh-oh. Where did
Oh.
Love go?
He just went, wee.
He was like, fuck you guys. You guys don't know this shit. Bye.
We are
What a
unworthy
dick.
of his presence. Oh,
He-
man.
Okay.
He
I
just
looked up
he just
the Josh
canceled
fight.
us by leaving us.
Yep.
Okay,
Maybe we
so
don't
the
exist
Josh
anymore.
Fight is Josh is the name, and they will fight you for it. Hundreds of people named Josh show up to a Nebraska park to fight for their name.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
Ah.
over here. The Josh Fight was a viral internet meme, mock fight, and charity fundraiser at Air Park in Lincoln, Nebraska on April 24th, 2020. So this just happened. The event was originally conceived by a civil engineering student named Josh Swain from Tucson, Arizona. It gained popularity after a screenshot of the Facebook Messenger group chat involving several users named Josh Swain spread widely around the internet.
Huh.
So apparently a bunch of dudes named Josh. Here he is.
There we go. Thanks. I have no idea what happened there. Yeah, the Josh, everyone was talking about it, and it was like a year. I remember it just being like just another thing I saw on Facebook as a like
It
next
just
year
happened.
we must fight. Yep.
Yeah, I googled it while you were
In
figuring
Magic Land,
out-
apparently.
Yeah. You decided that you got mad at us because we didn't know what the Josh Fight was.
That was what happened. That's why
Yeah,
I
that's
cut
what I
ties
thought.
with the Morning Wood, because you didn't know the Josh fight.
That's what I thought it was. So
That's okay, because
apparently-
now it looks like I am also hosting this show because I'm on top now with everybody.
Hey, you're talking a trillion times more than our so-called host. But I thought I
Dude.
should be in charge.
You want to fuck, Lev? Because I'll fuck
Yes.
your ass.
Whoa.
Always.
Whoa.
With a
Well,
rock.
there it is.
With,
No lube.
yes.
Wow.
Thank you, Gage.
Okay.
Guys,
That sounds
Gage just
painful.
posted a link in the chat.
Yeah, that was the plan.
The whole reason the whole reason Pimp isn't here is because he broke his computer. We need to get him a new computer if you want your Pimp mug back. So go to the link that Gage just put in the chat and donate to help Pimp get a new computer.
He deserves his home back.
All right, now continue with the talking.
Cool.
I don't know. Apparently they're gonna fuck without lube, and that sounds painful.
Ooh,
It's gonna be
It
fun.
depends.
Pain makes
if
it
there
better.
is enough pre-cum and excitement, I think they could manage it, right?
So you call Mung excitement. Good to know.
I don't know. What the fuck is mung?
Hold on.
Pre-cum?
You obsess over lady pre-cum. Yes.
Okay.
Lady squirt. Lady oiling. The glaze. The glazed hand.
Yeah,
Self-lubrication?
if you are excited enough, trust
Mung.
me, you don't need any lube.
For
I mean, I
those
don't know if it
two,
works
I
like that
don't
for
know.
dudes. I mean, does your
I-
butt
Well,
I'm
that's what I was
excited.
Yeah,
thinking.
your
Does
butt
that work
lube.
for dudes?
does your
If there's
butt get
enough,
excited?
Can tell you from personal experience. No, it does not.
'Cause they say dudes like G spot is in their butthole, so does
yeah, because
does
your
it get excited?
prostate's up there. So if you tickled that fancy,
Does your butt get
um,
excited and pre-come out your butt?
Alas, no. And I know that because my ass was attacked more than once by girls who just want to try something different.
Okay.
No,
but-
no.
like, I
There
need
needs to be
gay
a
dude.
conversation. There needs to be a
Yes.
conversation before you start putting fingers in places.
I
That's for anyone across
I need
the board.
a gay dude. Is there a gay dude in the chat that can tell me if your butt squirts?
Well, it does
only
squirt, but I
after
gotta
Taco
eat
Bell.
Indian food for me. in principle applies.
Sorry. Sorry.
Thai curry.
No, but
also on the list.
Oh yeah,
But
extra
But
spicy.
seriously, if you listen, ladies, don't be sticking. You don't like it if other people do it to you. Don't be sticking fingers places without having conversations first. You can't just go boop. Nope,
Look at
not
you.
how that
gave me
should
the
go.
most. like she gave me the most cutesy sort of, you like doing it to me, and I'm like, yeah, and I asked you.
Yeah, but that
I
doesn't
literally
mean
said
it's.
this.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's reciprocated. Like, and if you're good, don't just pop it in there. You gotta like work around the area. And the guy or person's like negative ghost, right? Then you go, okay, cool, moving on, and you move on. But
Sex.
no,
That's
no,
right.
no.
Listen,
Don't be
here's the
popping
thing. Also,
fingers in places.
I pride myself in my wipe work, but I wasn't prepped for this. I had no idea what hellscape she was walking into.
yeah,
know?
that's but history believes that it was the Wright brothers that was the first men to fly, but it was actually a guy that got a finger without warning shoved in his butthole. He ended up flew about 16 feet, landed, and went, what the fuck was that?
At all times, an unexpected thumb should be followed by a guy standing right next to you with a fucking French trumpet.
That sound effect. Or the classic old.
Villa Vendetta says lube is totally abnormal in UK for sex.
Yes,
Interesting.
it is, because we do it ourselves, because we don't mind eating fucking people out. It's okay.
What?
We're not hung up on this shit. You
It
just
does
do it.
seem to be an American thing where they are kind of hung up on it, huh?
Hi, Protestants. Nice to meet you.
I've just noticed because I have dated a couple of dudes from the UK, and it is a thing.
It's fair. We respect fairness a lot more than the so-called bastion of democracy does, apparently. I mean, for God's sake. More often than not, though, I always find girls are so shocked in America when I try to go down on them that they actually weren't prepared for it themselves. And we're like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm like, why? It's because, I didn't expect you to. I'm like, yeah, but you did it to me just now. I mean,
To be
Right?
fair, though, okay. To be fair, as in an American dealing with a lot of different American men, I find that normally the dudes who have an issue going down are white dudes.
yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep, I would agree.
Black dudes, Puerto Rican dudes, any kind of Spanish. Like there's never been an issue, but white dudes, it seems to be a problem. I don't understand.
Well, on behalf of all white dudes, I'm just going to apologize and
Well, yeah,
encourage
but you're
my.
Australian, so I'm talking about white American.
Oh, fair enough. Suck it up, American.
Yeah.
Step up.
the
fuck's wrong with you?
On that.
Yeah. I don't have anything
Right
to
now, this
apologize
is basically just an attack on Shab.
for.
I was going to say, Shab is the injured party in all this.
Sorry,
Shab, we need to hear your personal experience. Yay or nay?
Clearly, it's Shabs is in between midnight, and we're trying to make him uncomfortable because we're calling him out on his white bullshit. Shabs,
Yeah.
how do you feel about going down on girls?
I will
When-
eat Lev's butt. Okay. All right.
Oh, you don't
That's
want to be tossing those dice today.
Okay.
Are you a cunning
I know.
linguist?
What? Yes.
That's excellent.
Mhm.
Wait, what? Oh, man.
Only with Lev and the bussy.
Whoa.
This beard? When I take my shirt off, it's all beard all the way down. I'm an Ewok below the waist. So, or maybe a Wookiee would be probably better. I'm tall, so I'm a Wookiee.
I've gotten a
Yeti?
hairball
My husband has
before.
My husband has a
Whatever.
pretty epic beard also, and he likes to call it his tickler.
Ooh.
I'll let
I-
that sit there.
Yeah. And you know what? The only way that it will be that much of a tickler is that it's doing its job right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my. It's getting
I'm
hot
just
in here.
It's getting cold in here. I'm gonna put on a sweater. I am getting so cold. I'm gonna put a sweater on. See, we can be wholesome here too. Remember to go to church, kids, and listen to your ministers and
We're
all of
called
things.
the
And don't do drugs.
And eat your vegetables. Yeah.
And go down on girls for fuck's sake.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And if you're an individual with a vagina, please make sure you clean. Hygiene is important.
Yes.
For yourself, if anything else. I mean, how are you gonna wear those really
Yourself, and
tight?
also, it's just curious.
You can smell yourself wafting up when you like uncross and recross your legs. You might want to go to the doctor.
Okay.
Just saying.
Wow.
Who might be a bit heavy also can experience that.
Like the whole thing with Shani and all that fucking
Oh.
guys laying around. Like
Oh,
if you
This
need to
took a
use
turn.
that much douche, right? There is a problem downstairs.
yeah.
Oh god.
So
This is her
let's talk
flaps
about that
closing
real
in, by the
quick.
way.
Pretty much,
Mm.
because between her and Foodie Beauty, they both have those products, you know, a Vagisil, whatever. And it's like, so here's the deal. If it's that bad, okay, you need to get checked. So it could be because you're overweight. It could be because you have a medical issue. It could be because your diet is complete, utter garbage like you are. So
If you
might want
only
to figure out
drink
what the
Coca-Cola
specifics are.
and eat McDonald's, your pussy is going to taste like dirty pennies and regret.
Mhm.
Yep.
And of course, if you're going down on someone like Shani or Foodie Booty, that person probably at that point has already given up on life. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
expecting
Right.
this.
The
I mean,
vagina
Rev's
is a
not expecting high
self-cleaning
quality.
system. It will clean itself. As long as
It
you're
will do what it
healthy
needs to do.
and giving your
But if
body
you're
the right things that it needs, then it will do its job. You don't have to worry about that. You know, just
you don't need to shove things up there to clean it. You need to go see a doctor if it's that bad, because it means you're probably overweight. You might have a medical thing, like I said. You eat like shit. You don't drink water. all
Stop
that fun
talking
stuff
shit
because-
about my pussy, guys. Okay, I'm getting
Listen,
fucking
we
tired
just
of this.
Shabby, this is an
isn't-
intervention, okay?
This is an intervention, Shabs. Listen,
I
we're
can smell it
concerned
across
that every
numerous time
time-
zones.
Exactly. We're concerned every time you uncross your legs, there is a stench, and we just want you to get the help that you need.
It's natural.
We just want you
Okay.
to see.
No.
No, it's not.
It's
Shabby,
supposed
no.
to stink like that.
No, Shabby,
Okay.
washing it once
my
a year with a
must.
fire hydrant
Yeah,
is
you
not
must.
natural. It's once a year with a fire hydrant is not cleaning it. That's no.
Right.
That's just making sure it's not dead.
Leave my shit pussy alone, guys. Okay.
Shit pussy, shit pussy, shit pussy.
Shut pussy.
I like the smell.
Shit pussy. Oh, do, 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 do.
It's also weed.
As long as,
I
long
want,
as Shabs
but it's
doesn't put
hard to get here.
Shabachu in the background.
Yeah, I
can
think.
do it.
Where is
It's not
where is
here.
Shabachu?
You like Shabachu?
Oh
Yeah.
God! Can we not have him on here while
Does it
we're
make you
talking
guys-
about Shab's vagina?
How did Shabachu get created? Like,
Shabachu.
Yeah, let's have story
I
time
had
with
sex.
Shabs.
I had sex with Pikachu, and just out of nowhere, Pikachu's belly started getting big, and before you know it, out came little Shabachu, my little
Wow.
baby.
wow. So that explains the facial features of Shabachu. I understand a lot more than I did
I
now.
like
It
his
makes a lot of
pretty little
sense.
belly.
Shabachu needs to ask not who its father, or in this case, its mother, but who its father is. Well-
How does this work? There was
Is that the Anakin Skywalker? Was that an immaculate conception? Did the Metachlorians go fuck you up? The Shabachlorians?
Shabachlorian.
That's not a baby.
Rabichlorians.
That's my baby boy right there. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Jesus
Proud
came
father.
and gave me a blumpkin.
So you have custody of Shabachu? Full custody?
No, I can't get that.
Just weekend visits or something?
Social workers out for Shabby.
Or
They don't
wait,
like a person of color looking
wait.
after Shabachu.
are you a deadbeat dad, Shabby?
Fatherless Shabby
That's-
American.
It's possible.
It
It might be
Wow.
possible. Okay.
So are you contributing to the education of Shabachu by any chance? Buying school books, anything like that? No?
I taught him how to roll a joint the other day. That was pretty awesome.
Okay. Yeah, dad of the year material here. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Missy.
He's
Hey,
getting
Missy.
pretty good at
Hey,
it
Missy.
too.
Hey, Missy. What do we do the second hour?
Ooh, we eat
Masturbate.
Second hour,
Wait.
guys.
Oh,
Listen, I was trying to help. I was trying to help.
The fuck, Fit and Pervy.
Listen,
What the fuck?
I'm trying to help host this
That's
shit.
not her name.
Trying to help host here. Been not being appreciated by Shabs. He barely talks
Shut
when
up,
I'm on.
Okay, shut your fucking
He
mouth.
won't.
Okay,
He won't watch my makeup videos. I'm offended.
I will watch your
Yeah.
makeup videos and I will do what you did on your makeup videos. Okay, to
You
my
should.
face.
That would be funny.
I will
That'd be
do that.
fun.
But in the
Not
second
scared.
hour, we do e-demand, guys. That's when we don't ask you to give us money. We tell you to give us money. In the description below, you will find all of the links to Pimp's info, his Streamlabs, his PayPal, the Morningwood Patreon. Please, if you guys have a couple extra dollars, throw them to Pimp. He needs a new computer because that is why he is not here with us right now. Shabby has a Patreon link in the description. He's awesome. Go and be his patron and he'll hang out with you and watch movies. I have a Patreon link in the description. If you like boobs, come on over. Fit and Curvy, her channel is awesome. If you like makeup, go sub to her. Low Energy Videos is a podcast with our friend Krendar. He's awesome. Go sub to him. And Red Eye is just great all around. Send him some love.
I just don't do shit, and I don't want your money. So
Just send him
Yes,
some
but
love. and good
I
shit.
don't want your money either. I just started my channel. I'm just doing this shit for fun, but I feel like I've learned so much this morning. This has been great, so thank you.
I am a
I
whore,
got
so
so
just
much
give
to
me
research
all your
later.
cash.
Oh yeah.
he's a dirty whore.
But for
What
real,
will he
show
do
Pimp you love
for the
him
dough?
and donate so that Pimp knows that you're thinking about him and that we miss him.
Yes, we do need to get him a new PC because of a Murphy's Law. Basically, paid Pimp's house a visit and trashed his shit. So, on behalf of everyone, fuck off, Murphy, and your stupid law. Shit. But yeah, please, if you can, help the boss out, get him back online ASAP, because you don't want me here too many nights in a row, do you? It's this, you have the power to change that, to make me disappear back into the ether of the internet and only appear once every few Fridays.
Yep. So
So
if you want that to happen, help Pimp's PayPal thing, his computer fund. He needs $200. So let's go.
Yep.
Do it.
Yay.
we can.
Shilling.
Do you dip your balls in soy sauce?
Oh God.
Yeah, and then I tasted my balls to see if they tasted weird.
Dangly.
That's what you're
like an
supposed to
old
do, right?
man. Old man biscuit. Just
How
dunk
would you
them in.
taste your own balls?
I'm very flexible.
Just
I mean,
Well,
you
remember,
could maybe get them. Oh, I know how.
Oh.
I know
Remember.
how. You dab them on a piece of
How?
bread after.
no,
you
no,
dip
no, no,
them,
not
and then eat
dab.
the bread.
Not dab. You wrap the bread around the ball sack for at least 10 to 15 minutes to let the juices marinate into the bread.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, yes. Now the soy sauce itself, we all know what soy sauce tastes like, but the shabby essence will go in, and that is how the ancient Vikings used to show dominance. Little known fact.
I don't
I studied.
know. I don't know if I should be fascinated or horrified right now.
I just kind of want to.
What if it get? Would it burn?
Oh,
Like, what if it gets on your penis? Would that burn?
You have to build like a little trough first, where you like place
Okay.
your penis
all
over
right.
on one side, and then you kind of put the trough, and then you fill it up with soy sauce. Really cheap soy sauce. The stuff
No
you get
one
from,
is
like,
letting me know if I can watch yet.
She's so curious.
I don't.
Everyone
want
can
to
watch,
but I
okay?
will ask questions. I will ask logistical questions.
So
Ooh.
we could do a different versions of that hot wing show, but instead of having chicken wings, we could dump nuts into like from mild
So
to
instead of-
what is it? 2
Instead
million
of the one
Scoville
chip
Reaper-
challenge. Yeah, I was gonna say instead of the one chip challenge, we're now doing the one dip, the one
Hold
dip
on.
dick challenge. Oh, that was hard to say.
One dip dick. Say that 5 times fast.
One dip dick,
I
one dip
tried,
dick,
and
one
it
dip
was-
dick, one dip dick, and one dip dick.
Oh damn!
One dip
Holy
dick. One
shit.
dip dick. One
This
dip
tongue
dick.
isn't just good at
And-
showing that white people can go down on girls.
Cunning linguist. Damn.
Tony
Oh,
linguist
damn.
indeed.
One
Yep, so-
dip dick challenge. I like it. I think I've come up with a great idea.
Yep. Yeah, or we could just do the hot wings version where they have like 10 different sources that go from mild to basically like 2 trillion Scoville units that murder human beings. and just
Like-
see where they cut the cutoff point is. Like, do the first dips. Like, oh, that's pretty mild.
They
I
got
can handle that.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson in there with on like stomach on the floor with his dick like being
Yeah.
pushed in. And he's being answered questions about his life. So yeah, my dad was a wrestler too, and oh god, it burns.
And then you end up on an episode of Sex Sent Me to the ER.
I'm just interested to see who can handle the hottest sauces. Like 2 million Scoville units on your nutsack can't be a pleasant experience. Like, I don't think too
Jack
many
Black.
blokes are going to get there. Jack Black,
Jack
you
Black
reckon he'd do it?
Oh, I know. He'll make faces. He will be sweating, but at the end of it, he'll be like, "Give me an instrument. Give me an instrument." And he'll do like a perfect rendition of "Stairway to Heaven" or something.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hi, Hat Man. Don't mind us. Just usual talk. Oh,
They let me on. I don't really know why.
Bull dipping,
yeah,
fine
so
tasting.
how did that come about? Why did this even come up as a conversation the first time? Of what, taste buds in balls or something? What the fuck?
Because someone in the chat asked if Shabs had dipped his balls in
No,
some
that's-
type of sauce, and it just spiraled.
That's like some big thing though. Like besides the morning wood and our stuff, like that's some big thing on the internet. I think, like
Dipping your balls and stuff?
this idea that you can taste with your balls if you dip them in soy sauce.
That's the same logic as shitting out of your fucking mouth, like out of South Park, where they
Yeah.
shove the whole
Yeah.
thing up your ass and they go. "Bleh."
Gross.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that, people. Just that's
We're not
I think you
leeches.
can shit out of your mouth if you like have a stomach thing and the food doesn't digest and it just sits in your stomach and like
Yeah, but
rots
then
for
that-
a couple days and then you throw up and it's like
Yeah, but
a
that's
brown
throw.
color and like smells like poop.
It has to go through your intestines before, so if it leaves your stomach, then it's not coming back.
Okay.
it's
Never mind. I thought maybe, you know.
Mhm.
Oh no, I can see the logic in it, but there's a cutoff point in your gut where I'm a fat guy. I know these things. We are given wisdom once we pass by a certain BMI. We get like a pamphlet in the mail.
Oh, really?
So you want to destroy your body? Ooh.
You guys got a pamphlet.
Yeah.
I missed this
It's-
pamphlet when I was obese. Come on, man.
Aw, women can't read.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't want to
Unfortunately.
know, but somehow I made it through college and have a job. But you know, whatever.
I'll just be disavowing that comment over in the corner.
Hey, I'm Eurotrash. I make it classy.
Oh, I don't know.
No
No
But, no, like I remember when that episode of South Park came out and was like, why can't it work that way? And you do realize like how the body works, right? You got your large intestines, smaller intestines after your stomach, and it's like no way anything getting back in, otherwise you'd be getting poison back into your gut and you die.
Yeah,
Not just like a rupture or a cut, then maybe, but
Yeah, there's a reason why it can't come back up that same direction.
Yeah. Exit only, no entry.
it's a one-way street to Poop Town.
I mean, I work in shit water, so
Oh, you live in Flint, Michigan, huh?
no, but you know, I like to help prevent that type of shit from happening.
Amen.
Have they actually fixed that fucking problem in Flint yet?
No.
Are you
No,
shitting
no.
me?
Yeah.
They don't
No.
fix it. They don't
So-
care to fix it.
so-
They're
so-
just ignoring it.
Trump threw a truckloads and truckloads of fucking money at that fucking wall, and I've seen videos that the Border Patrol are now finding ladders worth about $5 from your local hardware store leaned up against it because people are just vaulting straight over this fucking thing. So instead of
Pretty much.
fixing the water pipes and the water supply, the federal government hasn't stepped in yet and gone,
2014.
hey, oh, fuck off.
2014.
Oh,
So I know Billy just said this also in the chat, but as someone who works in wastewater, it is extremely expensive to take out old lines, put new things. I mean, it's a shitload of money, and it takes a lot of time. And it's not something that people want to throw money at, definitely. But you know, if we have a water main break, now I work on the wastewater side, not the water side of things, and that's a whole nother beast. But when there's a water main break in the middle of where I work at, people are like, "Well, what the fuck is y'all's problem at your job?" Because they're not giving us the funds to fix the shit. So what happens? We're doing reactionary fix, not being proactive about those
And
things.
that's just crazy to
And-
me, because if an entire fucking city, you know, an entire city's worth is dying because the water is so contaminated, like it's not a matter of not wanting to spend the money on it. It's do it because the people are dying.
Well, and I mean, this is go ahead.
Tad has just said that it's in Biden's infrastructure plan, so it is going to be addressed. Thank fucking God. All right, that's better than never going to do it. It's like someone's at least still thinking about and knows that it's an issue that needs to be dealt with. And I bet you there's hundreds of towns across America that there's the same fucking problem. You've
Go to West Virginia or like parts of New Jersey, and I guarantee you that
It's not, and this is a story that obviously has made big headlines that everyone knows about, and then 2014, right? But like, what people don't know is that this happened. This isn't just one place. This is actually why I got into the job that I'm in. Because the water supply from where my mother grew up was contaminated, and they have done studies since the time that she was in that particular area, that people have different types of cancers, different types of weird diseases and stuff like that. Like, if your water supply is contaminated, it's dangerous.
I don't know what the movie is. I don't remember what. I think it's called Debt or something, and it's about some company that was dumping some sort of chemical to make that is an off product of making Teflon, and it was going into like the water and getting into the ground, and it was affecting like generations of people, and it turned into like this huge lawsuit. And at the end of it, they paid a couple millions of dollars to the people that it was affected by, but it literally was like maybe a day's worth of the company's profit anyway. Like,
that's the Aaron Brockovich shit. I mean, that was the whole plot of Aaron Brockovich, and the whole story behind it goes after a company that's leaching poisons into the water, that's causing cancers and birth defects. Goes in, makes a big hurrah, people clap and go, well done, and nothing fucking changes. They just pick up sticks, move another place, and keep same old practices.
Yeah, some other state will go, oh, here's some money to come and set your factory up in our state.
Oh boy, a bunch of new jobs.
Yeah,
you know.
And then 20 years later, birth defects. And look, Union Carbide, they had a plant in Homebush Bay in Sydney, Australia, and we changed some laws, but they weren't. They didn't date back, so they only came into effect, and you couldn't go after people for stuff they'd already done. So Union Carbide got warning of what was about to happen. They shut down their battery facility where they made batteries and were pumping toxic sludge straight into fucking Sydney Harbour. There was about a foot of lead sludge off their factory, and they fucking packed up and fucked off overnight before these laws come in. The cleanup was the whole site where we had part of the thing for the Olympics in 2008 was basically built on this big bed of toxic sludge that they spent a lot of money digging this shit up, moving it out, and trying to remove. It was so fucking bad. And there's the disaster in India, Union Carbide, where they basically killed a village of people. Yeah, it's crazy shit. But they fucked off, just went overnight, went, yep, see ya.
Here in Ireland, actually very nearby where I live, the next major town over from Carrick, the big town here, is the town of Longford. And that's right by a big lake, a loch, right? And on it, when you pass on the road up from Dublin, you pass by it, this huge, massive industrial complex making paint. And it is right on the loch, right on the river. Where does all that waste go? It isn't burned off. It isn't carried off in drums. It clearly is going into the loch. And suddenly, fish populations in that region have been dropping ever since it opened. I wonder if there's a correlation.
Never going to admit to it, just like they won't admit to global warming or the fact that the ozone layer is like.
No, the Koch brothers will just buy you out, and then you'll go on fucking PragerU and say that global warming is a fake. It's a hoax.
Jedi says that to Red Eye, you guys actually did a good job cleaning up. Even the sharks are back in your harbor.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of nails around. There's still plenty of spots. So mining companies are allowed to waltz in, just decimate a whole environment, and then
mostly with Irish labor, by the way. You guys imported so many people from Dublin to do that work.
Oh, dude! But what they do afterwards is the fine is so much cheaper to pay than putting the site back to its original condition. I mean, ridiculously cheaper. So the companies just go, we're going to go now and throw the $100 million fine at the government and go, your fucking problem now, suck shit. Thanks for the fucking get out of jail free card, 100 million. That's going to cost hundreds and hundreds of millions to fucking rectify over many, many years. We're out of here and we're pulling up stumps. Goodbye. And they do. And it blows your fucking mind. You know.
Shabby Galen wants to know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I love Breaking Bad. There's more Dexter coming. Did you guys hear about that? Dexter's coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you bring Dexter back?
I guess they're gonna continue on.
Nostalgia.
I wonder if it's gonna. I don't know. I feel like so torn. It would be almost like bringing the Sopranos back, like
which they've been talking about doing.
And I think that would be a huge mistake. You know,
well, it goes back to what we were talking about with the cartoons earlier. You know, sometimes the remakes are really great. Sometimes if they pick up where they left off, it's really great. And sometimes it's a horrible idea, and you just need to leave well enough alone.
I think
good things stay good and not fuck it up.
A lot depends on writing, and I'm going to use my favorite example, Doctor Who. Doctor Who, when it came back with the new series, Eccleston's first series, brilliant, all the way through until I do believe the guy's name was Moffat, was the writer. He bails, new guy comes on. Doctor Who turned to shit. And the casting was questionable in my humble opinion, but that's just rant for another day. But the writer you have a whole universe to play with. This guy was fixated on the last 200 years of human history, and Doctor Who would not travel anywhere. It just fucking ruined it. It's like, and go and have a look at the ratings since that guy took over. You can see this really, it stays up there, and then basically after about 3 episodes, it just goes off a cliff. So writing is really important. If they get the right writers for the project, that's why some of the cartoons being remade have the original writers, and they're working. And
I just feel like it's
elephant in the room
because they can't think of anything better. They can't
create their own
original idea. So they have to go back and find something that made them a lot of money the first time around, and it's like, okay, well, let's do that again because that made us a lot.
Now they're also feeding in on the nostalgia as well. That's the key thing. I think it's 10 years, and you start thinking of a show fondly. And I hate to say it, but Dexter's about 10 years old now since it first started, isn't it?
Which one?
The Dexter.
I think
at least. Now, how did Dexter end? Did they catch him and put him in jail or kill him off? Because I forget how it ended. I don't think I ever saw the last episode, but I know they were closing in on him towards the end. So, how did they? Did Dexter end? If Dexter ended up in jail, there's no reason why they can't write that he's gotten out and just kicked off where he fucking left off and started murdering bad people in the most exquisitely delicious ways possible, like. Sadistic, fucking what a show though! Really good, really great concept. Turning basically a monster into a tool of justice, nearly. Quite scary, but yeah, I don't know. I think it'd work if he was in jail and he gets out, it could kick off.
Prison Break meets Dexter, you know.
Yeah, that could also work. He escapes. I don't know if the character you could write that in and make much sense because. he had a sense of right and wrong. It's really hard to say that after you see.
Yeah,
what
didn't
does
he
in the show.
always kind of? I only watched it on and off. Didn't he kind of always know that what he was doing was also wrong, but he was doing it for a wider good?
Yeah,
Like the way he saw it was like, yeah, obviously I'm killing people, but these people are monsters. If I'm a monster to other monsters. It's kind of like the Deadpool logic, you know? I'm
Well,
an
he's-
asshole that goes after bigger assholes.
from what I remember, his father knew that he had homicidal tendencies, so he basically, I don't know how you'd say, mentored the kid on how to kill efficiently. So taught him how to basically end people real quick, but he also instilled on him that sense of there's good people and there's bad people, and you should go after those that are demonstrably bad. And because that's why he ended up doing what he did, and he could get all this info and make sure that he was nailing the right people to the wall. And I thought, what a great concept. So if he serves his time and gets out, and then it could be a really good story of his struggle of slowly caving in back to those urges and then going back to his old and becoming a fucking alpha predator again.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a really good story to be told anyway. That's one possibility. I don't know. I'll shut up now.
No, I think that's a brilliant idea if it can be written well. But back to the whole thing about writers, the elephant in the room, the end series of Game of Thrones. Look what they did. Look what they did to my boy. That scene from
my
Soprano, from Godfathers. Look what they did to
'Cause
my
they-
boy.
There was talks towards the end of Game of Thrones, because that was one of my favorite shows there for a while. They were talking about doing spin-offs, and I was like,
Remember that one set in like the modern era
No.
where like that was some bad concept.
Yeah, they were gonna follow the Stark daughters and like kind of see where they end up, and where Jon Snow ends up, and it's just like no. But
give us prequels.
I know. Yeah, I know a lot of people were pissed off at that ending. So I don't even know. That was bullshit. But anyways.
Yeah, the whole thing was just fucking insane. Like it was Lindsay Ellis did a great two-parter on it, on just like at what point you could see they stopped caring. And you know what the sad fact is? What are they called? H&M, the main writers, the main directors in charge of it at the end of the show. They were given something so rare in the industry. Unlimited time and resources, and they said, no, we want to go off and do fucking Star Wars. And look how great they did with that. They just keep fucking, it's like that meme of death knocking at each door, like you destroyed this one. Eventually they're probably going to be cast in to write stuff for Avatar or some shit like that. It's going to be it was so badly written. And it made, the more you think about it, like lore-wise, it makes no sense. Like Bran becomes king. By the way, spoilers if you haven't gotten around to it yet. But
don't spoil it, because I actually haven't watched any episodes. No shit. Not that I'm going to watch any episodes. So spoil away.
That happens a lot. Yeah, that happens a lot. People were like, maybe I've heard good things, and you hear about the final series, and you're like, okay, that just ruined it. I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, I've never watched an episode of it, and I don't plan on, because I've heard so much about that show through fucking memes and in just YouTubers. It's like, I don't need to watch it, because I know everyone starts getting the real hardcore fans start noticing around, what is it, the second last season?
Yeah.
Where's apparently the way the dire wolves were written out was really badly done. Like, where's the puppies? Where's the puppets? And they just you don't see them anymore. It's like, what?
You do get Nymeria coming back very briefly, but you don't get to see Shaggy. No, Shaggy Dog dies. You don't get to see. It doesn't matter. There's some great moments from the final series. The battle scenes are so well put together. The Battle of the Bastards. But here's the thing. Go and watch it on YouTube. Someone have made fan compilations of the battle. You don't need any other context. If you like historical shit like Kings and Generals or Baz battles, then it is glorious. How and hell, if I'm right, either Kings and Generals or Baz Battle actually did a video to tie in to that actual episode, which was, I think it was like officially sponsored, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the books were dropped after, well, the last one was used, and since then George hasn't put out another book. He's just been twiddling his thumbs and apparently feeling really self-conscious of the fact that the whole world wants him to put out more of the original story. And after Terry Pratchett died, some really pieces of shit were like, hey, you see how Terry died without finishing his work? You don't want that to happen, do you? Like, dude, yeah, for God's sake, he's got enough he's clearly overweight and he's old and he wants to do something that he loves, but he wants to do it his own way. If he's not going to do it, that's fine, I guess. I would love to see it, but I'm not going to drive someone to commit suicide over this shit, you know?
Look,
I think a lot of people who are big Game of Thrones fans were so pissed off the ending that there's a lot of pressure on him to write a book that kind of, I'm gonna say, satisfies. Yeah, that satisfies and kind of like makes up for the fact that truly, in my opinion, that last season, it had its moments. You know, the battles were interesting. You know, it had its moments, but like I was talking to some friends who were also big Game of Thrones fans, and I didn't even care that the season was shorter than the others, and you know the episodes were a little bit longer, but it felt so rushed. And like they just didn't give a flying fuck, basically, about the plot and the story, anything like that. So I think there's a lot of pressure on him now to be like, oh no, now you have to write a book that kind of makes up the fact that all of us were pissed off because the writers fucked up a good story, what had good potential to end incredibly, and now we need you to right this wrong and make it better. And it's just like, well, okay, maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he wants to move on. I don't know.
I don't think he wants to move on from Westeros and the whole Song of Ice and Fire universe, but I do think that he realizes it would be a lost cause and it would cause too much friction between what people want canon in terms of show and what people think in terms of book. Now, let's be honest here. The books, there's so much more to it, but it's not for the casual. Right. You got to sit down and you got to process it. The shows, process it, streamline it, good or bad, especially in the early series, pretty damn well done. There were characters that were dropped, there were moments that were missed, but hell, they did the same thing with Lord of the Rings. And the original movies were pretty solid. Again, they have their own problems. And then The Hobbit came along and, well. But like, at the end of the day, George, as a man, has earned living in his vineyard, doing his interviews and going to conventions. And if he does nothing else for the rest of his life, great. But he's overweight, he's getting on in years, and he is ridiculously pressured by fans bombastically bombarding him with good old-fashioned, hey, when's the books coming out? When are the books coming out? When are the books coming out? Look at Terry Pratchett. He died. Well, you don't want to die because then you'll disappoint us. Look at the guy. Look at Frank Herbert. He died, and like leave the guy alone.
I mean, like leave him alone at this point. Like I get people are, like, because I was too. I get that people were upset by the ending. But that there's no need to be like, oh, well, you don't want to, like this other guy did, not finish the work.
It's almost like a threat, isn't it? Which, by the way, Terry.
Exactly.
They forget one thing about Terry. Near the end of his life, just before the I think it was Parkinson's got him, he got all his material into one hard drive, his unfinished work, and it was burned. It was burned in a big bonfire because he said, when I'm dead, my stories are done. And I like that. Right. I like the idea because he saw how other people, like the guy who wrote Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan, when he died, his books continued, but they were taken into different directions. I honestly think some of those directions were pretty good. It was less religious based, but the point is, or Frank Herbert, when he died, his son did the prequels. again, you can get it close to what the original author wanted, but you can't be 100% sure. And your legacy is always going to be branded by these books added into the mix. Are they canon? Are they pseudo canon? Does it fucking matter? People might not know. It's one of those things that an artist has to consider near the end of their lives if they have unfinished works.
Yeah, if
Isn't-
you have
isn't
an
that the
unfinished
name
work
of the-
and someone go ahead.
I'm just going to ask, isn't that the main plot of like Gone Girl or The Fault in Our Stars, where she has to go off and talk to that author? She's like dying of cancer, and she wants to know how the book ends, what happens to the characters, and he's like this drunk, the author, in like a bar somewhere in Holland, and he's like, I don't know, what happens to any character after the book ends, you know? Like, these are real people living real lives. Leave them fucking alone. Sorry, Fit. Please go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like you're saying, an artist has to consider at the end of their life, do they want to burn it all so that way no one can pick it up and, you know, try to take it and spin it, and then, you know, do you want to be lumped in with something like that? I mean, you're dead, like it's not going to affect you, but if you want to leave a legacy, what's the one you want to leave behind, and do you burn it all to the ground when you leave out? I don't know.
Or do you do the Lovecraft route, which opens it up to anyone's estate?
Yeah. Brian
which is-
Lumley. Yeah, right. Brian Lumley has actually written a few novels based off Lovecraft stuff. And Brian Lumley's Necroscope series and Vampire World trilogy need to be made into movies, because you ain't seen a vampire till you've seen these fucking creations that this guy's made up. It's the most epic series of books ever. But no, you're right. Lovecraft did that, left it open, and people can come up with
And
their own.
some people completely fuck up the aesthetics of the Lovecraftian horror, but others actually understand.
Yep, Lumley nailed it.
I've heard good things about it. I've never read any of them.
Oh,
But
dude,
I've heard good things.
Get the Necroscope series. Start with, I think there's got to be near 20 books in the series one, but Harry's, it's the first lot of stories are about Harry, and then it branches off, and the Vampire World trilogy is fucking epic. That could be made into a standalone movie right now, and you don't need the Necroscope.
If they can make the Dresden Files into a TV show, they can make a Necroscope into a movie.
Necroscope would be crazy, because it starts out just on Earth, but then it branches off into Vampire World, and because of a meteorite strike, a wormhole's created between here and this other place, and that's where the original vampire legends came from.
By the way,
18 books, right? And
Yeah.
it's fucking epic, dude. I've read 15 of them, I think now. Necroscope series, and there's another 3 called the Vampire World trilogy that should be included in those epic series of books. If you like vampire stuff, I highly recommend it. And
Vampiri.
yeah, yep. There's like Espers. So the British government have a branch of basically psychics and other gifted people. The Russians have their version, and the two are always sort of going. And in the middle of it all, the vampires start going, appearing, and weird shit happens, and the Russians try to weaponize them, but that doesn't work out too well for Vlad. And yeah, shit gets crazy, and then it goes to Vampire World, and shit just gets fucking mad. Loved it.
I always thought that the Harry Potter universe needed the Muggles to fight back in some way, because I gotta be honest with you, the wizards in the Harry Potter universe fucking suck. They can cure cancer and replace limbs and bring people back from the dead. But what do? They use their powers to create gummies that might taste like earwax. Like, what a waste of power.
I don't think that's like a thing that they're like allowed to do.
No, they're not allowed to do, because they never come back quite well. But they can bring back limbs that you can replace like really heavy damage. And
yeah, but you gotta think about it. All the wizard has to do is have a Kadava spell or whatever, and they're dead. So,
but that's the thing. Like, why don't the Muggles try to track them down? Because they're clearly hurt by things like bullets and guns. It's just how they move about with those wands.
Yeah, but all they gotta do is wand Avacadabra the whole thing, and they all drop down dead.
You can only Avada Kedavra, one person at a time. If there's 3 people in the room, the other 2 are just going to shoot you. So it's kind of like using a musket against a machine gun. I think
you could like stupefy them all.
Yes.
And then Avada Kedavra each and every single one of them down the line.
I agree, but like that's the thing. Like there should have been some sort of like Area 51 set up to like study Muggles and have study wizard users and use was it like have some like anti-magic weaponry and shit like that. So like have a giant robots made up out of like lead just marching in towards them and like use a spell on it and it bounces off. Because the thing is, wizards throughout the show, throughout the movies and throughout the books, they're awed by the level of creativity of Muggles. They don't know how to they always are playing catch up culturally to them.
Yeah.
Like they're stuck in 1700s, 1800s aesthetics. They don't know what simple things like fucking mobile phones. Oh, I love it, but I just thought always that like
they don't need mobile phones. They have owls.
Exactly. And how long does it take? How long does it take to have a conversation with an owl? A few days before a message goes one way or the other?
You don't know that. You can be magical.
You don't know that either. They don't go through a fucking portal through time. That's a flute. That's a flute gate. That's a flute gate. That is with the
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. My mom read me the first book as a kid when she was super sick. So after that, I was like, I have to read all the books. I have to see all the movies and all that. I mean, it's on my office right now. I have it's like a TV stand. It's all my nerd shit. So I got Game of Thrones stuff everywhere. Nightmare Before Christmas, Harry Potter. But it is interesting because when you look at those characters, the wizarding world is very fascinated by non-wizard. Like, why are you so far behind? Like, or why are we so far behind? Like, why do they use these cell phones? What does that even? Or mobile phones? Like, what does that even mean? Like, and it's. I mean, I love that world, but that's just because it's what I grew up with.
I do love that world as well. Like there was a little ritual I used to do anytime we'd go on holidays, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit lucky in the regard that my parents worked in the air. Well, my mother and my grandmother and a lot of my family worked in Dublin Airport, so we used to get flights on the cheap. And of course, you need a book before phones and podcasts and all that good stuff came out. You needed a book to pass the time when you're sitting by the pool. So I would get the Harry Potter book that would come out, each and every one. And I think I got as far as the Order of the Phoenix that way. And then afterwards I just continued on my own when I discovered the joy of an MP3 player. Especially when the little Zunes with little screens, so I could start watching movies, and I felt like a real fucking badass. I was like, yeah, I know what LimeWire is. Oh yeah. We was kings. But oh my god, like I loved the books. And then when Deathly Hallows came out, I noticed there was a little bit of a change, a little bit of a subtle change.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely a shift at that.
I don't know if I 100% like it. Like I'm just thinking about
directorship, because you can see it in a couple of the movies where.
Well, I'm thinking of the book.
Have the same kind of. Oh yeah, even the book too. That's true.
Like maybe her like marketing team was like, we need to aim towards a slightly more young adult, because young adult, of course, was skyrocketing as it is to this day. Young adult is massive.
Well, I think that too, and Harry at that time was a young adult. So
perfect.
It makes sense, to gear it more towards a young adult audience, because that's the age that Harry was.
Let's I just got a thing from BBC. Oh, Michael Collins died. The guy who not the IRA guy who helped found Ireland, but Michael Collins, the astronaut who floated around when everyone else was on the moon for the first time. He died.
Shit.
Yep, 90.
Wow.
U.S. astronaut Michael Collins, who orbited the moon during the first landing on the surface, died age 90, family say.
90 is old.
Jesus Christ. Is that from you, Misty?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
God. When you fart, it sounds
you really
weird.
do live under like an overpass, right? Like
no, it's literally just the road in front of my house. Okay, so I've explained it before, but everyone in town knows that if you want to avoid that intersection over there that has a stupid fucking it's supposed to be a 4-way intersection, but the way that the road is built, it's like crooked and crossed, and you almost feel like you're going to hit each other every time you're trying to turn. So in order to avoid that intersection, you can cut through my neighborhood. And where my house sits, it's a hill going up that way and a hill going up that way. So you have every car that is like a piece of shit trying to like gun it up the hill. So you hear crazy noises outside of my house.
My first apartment, I'd wake up in the morning around about 5 to 7, and I'd look out the window getting ready for my own day at work. And it would just be this tiny little housing estate road. And in the middle of it would just be this huge row of cars, because they all thought that by going up that way, they'd bypass a massive issue, which is the area in or up around Santry, which is further up, because I live in Drumcondra. Anyone who watches this who's from Dublin might know what I'm going for here. But a lot of these people were coming in down through the UCD, the college area, and they needed to get into Dublin proper. And it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're still going out onto the same main road that's going to be absolutely packed. So I don't know what they thought they were saving on time for. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, why do people honk their horns when everyone's stuck in traffic? You know, you go to New York, you see that all the time. Like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna get a bunch of cartoon legs coming up out the
honk
car.
their horn for traffic. In this neighborhood, people honk the horn for doorbell. And it's the most irritating thing in the fucking world.
Oh, that fucking sounds like it would suck.
Especially the people that live right over there. Whoever comes to visit them all the time just constantly honks his horn whenever he shows up. And then the guy that lives next door to him, for some reason, every time he comes home, he needs to let the dog that lives in the house know that he is home. So he does this like weird little sequence of beeps every single time. And it's so the dog knows that it's him and he's coming home or something.
That would be cute if he was like living
Is
out
the
in the middle of
death-
nowhere.
Is it what?
Is the dog partly deaf? Is that why he's doing a
I
sequence?
don't know.
Yeah.
It's just this weird sequence.
That would be my guess.
I think it's like
yeah,
an
that'd be my
attack
first guess. He
dog.
was trained.
He's like
Yeah.
trained to
Okay.
attack any fucking car that comes into the like property, but he does like a special honk and he knows that it's like his car or something, or to like get the dog excited. I have no fucking clue what it's for.
Here's the thing about dogs and their hearing. They've got really good fucking hearing compared to us. And they've done a test in Australia where they got this dog used to not react to any car except its owner. So they found the same model car, same color, same everything, and they drove it up the street towards the house. Dog's looking at it. Dog did not fucking react. It's the same car. But for some reason, the dog could hear that wasn't its owner's car, because each car actually has a little bit of a nuance to it. So the dog couldn't even see the owner, but it heard the fucking car a block and a half away and started getting excited. And sure enough, around the corner came the same vehicle, but it was the owner's vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog picked up on the difference between the two identical, visually identical, but the audio to the dog was different and it knew it. So that dude doesn't even need to beep his fucking horn. But
I
don't
was
tell
gonna
him that,
say,
because he's having a great time.
Obviously. My dogs know, like my husband has a louder vehicle. They will let me know when he's in the neighborhood before I even hear his vehicle. Now, there are other cars in our neighborhood that are also pretty loud, but they don't respond to them. They only respond when his car comes into the neighborhood and they start whining at me to let me know Daddy's coming home. And then sure enough, I hear him pulling into the driveway. Yeah.
Good.
And if you went and got a car that was the same as your husband and got someone to drive that round, your dogs probably wouldn't react.
Oh, they
it.
don't react. No, they've seen other vehicles that are just like his, and they don't react. They immediately go to vehicle or mine.
Question to any dog owners in the chat. Does anyone
Yes.
else know that? All right, and Fit, and I guess that's you. Anytime you've been home and they have, as you well know, when if you both leave the house, the dogs have a routine, and like maybe like half an hour before you show up, they're by the door the whole time. Does that happen to you, or does that happen, or was that just a me thing? Because I know for a fact that whenever my mom were to go to work and I'd stay home, I would I'd watch my dog, and I'd take her for a walk and I'd feed her, and she'd hang out and she'd do her own thing. But always half an hour beforehand, we had this little glass thing down in the patio just before you came in. Like, you got the porch, you opened up and you walked in, you opened up the main door. She would sit out on that half an hour every single day. And if she didn't come back exactly half an hour, well, not exactly down to the second, but roughly around about half an hour, she'd start going, "Arr, arr, arr." Like, does that ever happen to, like, your dogs?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very strange work schedule, but my dogs understand that when I come home in the morning, when I'm on night shift, they will meet me at the door, and then they know mommy lets them out, and then they immediately run right to the bedroom and lay down because they know what they need to do. But then, when my husband, when he's at work, I wouldn't say like exactly half hour or anything like that, but they know around the time he comes home, because they will sit by the door or they'll sit on the couch and face the front door. I mean, they also do that when I'm home alone, just because they're protecting me, but they will kind of creep closer to the front door when they know he's about to come home. And then especially, like I said, when they hear his vehicle coming into the neighborhood, they freak out and let me know. They whine and cry and all that. So,
I mean, too, because you see the videos of the dogs who, that like the time zones will switch, and they know that their dinner time is like always at 5 o'clock, and all of a sudden the time zones, and now like 5 o'clock is 6 o'clock. So they have to wait, and they're like getting mad at you because it's normally 5 o'clock and they're supposed to eat, but the time switched. So now they have to wait another hour. And you see, like,
their internal clock doesn't understand. Yeah, their internal clock doesn't understand.
They're like, no, it's time to eat. Like, let's eat now. What the fuck? It's like, it is dinner time.
Yeah, some of my favorite vids on YouTube are like nanny cam footage of dogs getting up to mischief and shenanigans when the owners leave. And seriously, you'll see the dogs. They'll just be sitting there like little fucking angels, little cherubs on the couch, and they'll wait, and the dogs will literally look at each other and go, count to 10, wait for it. And one of the dogs goes to go, and the other dog goes, not yet, gotta wait. And soon they'll wait this finite amount of time, and then fucking bang, straight into the kitchen, open the fridge, open the pantry, and fucking start eating shit. And the really smart dogs do it, and then close everything, and they don't leave a mess, so they don't know that there's been shenanigans, and people have to start going, where's this food disappearing to? And it turns out that their dogs are like a fucking cat burglar of food, and goes into the fridge and goes, nom, 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 but doesn't leave any evidence. And the other case, what was it? That there was that fucking octopus that was getting out of its tank, crawling across down a table, across the room, up another table, up on top of the crab tank, jumping into the crab tank, snacky cake time, eats a crab or two, jumps back out, closes the fucking lid of the crab tank, goes, whoop, I will now wipe out the evidence from existence, and then goes back to its own tank, gets in, closes the fucking lid, and then sits in the fucking tank going. And the scientists were coming in and going, how the fuck is this happening? And they set up a cam and caught this fucking thing. And there's also been, was an orangutan in a zoo in America where this little bastard,
that's in Nebraska,
and this little bastard learned how to disassemble his own cage. And started getting out and wandering around with the people because he was brought up by people, and he just thought he was a people. So he was a people, and he was an escape artist and incredibly intelligent. And he would, the first time they couldn't work out, they said his cage fell apart, and they videotaped him basically pulling the fucking thing apart and disassembling it tidily and just wandering off to have fun with his toys.
That might be a different one, because the one I remember of, an orangutan, we saw his original cage when I was in the one in Omaha, and I swear to fucking Christ, this is insane. He would not just break out of his cage; he would actively try to free the other apes in the area. Shit. Yeah. And by the way, if you're thinking of like where have I heard the Omaha Zoo, that's the one where the gorilla, famously, the footage of the gorilla slammed its fist down on the glass and it cracked the glass where the people were like looking at them. Because what you do is you went into this huge hole. I remember going in there and it was insane. It was this huge hole. On either side of it was this massive enclosure, nowhere near as big enough as they needed. But it was kind of like their sort of presentation area. And these massive silverback gorillas, right, would just be lounging around, eating stuff. But you could go into this sort of dome, this circular dome, and it was made out of glass, apparently strong enough to hold the ape. Yeah, fucking right. And the apes, in rage that you were coming close to them, would rush up to you and slam their fists down on top of the glass. And the power of that ape, I was at the far end of the hole when it did it once, and I felt it in my soles of my feet. So if you were like literally right next to it, you're like your fillings in your teeth would come out. So like you'd get a nosebleed. It would just be that strong. And this motherfucker ended up almost breaking that glass a month after I went there. That is, and like it's all recorded. It's absolutely fucking insane that we think that it's a good idea to put fucking apes who are not just smart enough but strong enough to really fuck people up. I mean, just talk to Paul's ego about Ape Escape, you know? Hashtag you were there. I was there, and I hope that you were there too for the Ape Escape moment.
Oh,
Guys,
Yeah.
Pimp is really mad at everyone for not tipping, and he's gonna yell at me, and I don't want to get yelled at. So can you guys go to his link in the description and send him money so he doesn't.
I need to get up, so I'll stop distracting you all, and you can all get back to tipping Pimp.
yeah.
Put it in his G-string, not just the ones, but the fives. He appreciates the fives more.
There's an airplane. Hang on.
Tip your pimp.
Well, if we don't get enough tips, he's going to get in Discord and he's just going to yell at fucking me too for hours, like hours and hours, and call me horribly, terribly sad things like
Call me
poo-poo
names and tell me that, you know, my boobs are horrible and, you know, my hair sucks and that I kill children with cars and, you know, it's not nice. So.
And that Shabs sucks.
Yeah.
Shut up. I suck a big fat titty. Leave me alone.
I mean,
whoa.
I mean that's nice. But you
I'm
got
picking
quiet
up.
again, and I'm getting offended because you always get quiet when I'm here, and I don't understand what I did. Do we need to have therapy? What's
Scare
wrong?
me.
What did I do? Oh,
Yeah,
I
couples
scared you.
counseling.
Intimidated by your muscles.
Yeah, let's do some
Oh,
live
must be
couples
I
counseling.
saw your recent post on Twitter where you're flexing your muscles, and I was like, I don't want to mess
Oh.
with her.
So
I just like to
Shabby's
flex
intimidated.
on Billy.
So Shabby's intimidated by your physical prowess and presence. So it's okay, Shab. What you need to do is watch some China videos from the WWE and get used to seeing them ladies throw some dudes around. You'll be fine.
Strong lady.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
and then you'll be keen to do some snoo. Snoo with the
His
with the
first
big,
time.
strong-
Be
Yeah.
gentle.
I
Yeah.
don't know what new is, but it sounds
Oh.
kinky.
Oh,
so.
haven't you seen
Oh,
the
yeah.
Futurama episode with the snoo? Oh my god.
Yeah.
You
They
need
land
First
on
the
a-
large women, then the
Yeah.
beautiful women, then the robust
Yeah.
women, then the large women again.
They land on a planet where there's huge women. Have you
Amazonian
never seen that
women.
episode? Yeah, they're gigantic women.
What are you,
and
gay?
I don't watch a lot of Futurama.
Oh, you need to see this episode. You will fucking love it. I promise.
Oh, it's glorious.
The snoo is the shizzle, my nizzle. It's
Men are
great.
strange. What are used for? She whispers in the ear. You mean snoo snoo.
Mhm.
We only hear from Ancient Legend and a subscription to Cosmo magazine.
That's it. It was such a fucking good episode. It was really funny, and I still curse that damn series for that other episode that made me tear up like a son of a bitch.
It would involve a certain dog.
Yes.
Oh.
I think
Oh,
it's the,
no.
it's the one cartoon.
I
I'm,
don't watch cartoons that make me cry.
oh, it's such.
I think
couldn't-
that's why
Stop
I
it.
watch so much horror movies and stuff.
I
Cause
could never watch that episode
He
again,
d-
but I'm glad
It
I
has
watched
been
it.
retconned. It has been retconned that in the new reality he the day after he meets was it Scruffles? Was that the name of the day? The name of the dog, Scruffles.
Scruffles is an adorable name for a dog.
I'm not sure, but
He's a big old gray mutt that Fry befriends because his life is falling apart, and he's the only constant in his life, and he gets him to sing "I'm Walking on Sunshine." And then when Fry gets frozen, Scruffles waits outside his job every day,
Yep.
every day,
Waits for him to come
Every-
home. Yep.
fucking
Yep.
day. And eventually Scruffles just lays down and goes to sleep.
Yeah, see, I can't watch that because apparently when I was like
Has been
4
retconned.
or 5 years old, I started screaming and wailing from the living room, and my mom came in and was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Snoopy won't come home." 'Cause I was watching Snoopy Come Home, Charlie Brown, something or other, and it fucking destroyed me. So I can't watch that.
yeah, it's
Talking
I don't
about
know,
dogs. I'm over here petting my dogs like, it's sad.
Hey, snoot that boot, okay?
I
Like
think
that dog's there for love.
you could use that test to nearly that episode of a cartoon as a test for fucking empathy and just and if people don't get moved by that episode, you go possibly
I was thinking more along the lines of the Blade Runner test. Like when they put the eye down there. Now tell me if this makes you cry. And like Harrison Ford takes out his gun real quick and shoots because the guy's not blatting an eye.
Galen
Yeah.
and Tommy are picking on me in the chat, guys.
Good.
Nice.
Okay, just because I don't know about the Game of Thrones. Okay, you guys were talking about it for like a half an hour, and I was quiet the whole time because I don't know shit about that dumb show.
Neither do
Okay.
I.
You know, stuff about Charlie Brown.
Yeah, but you talk a lot, right? You know how to talk. What?
I know.
You know, stuff about Charlie Brown. And
Yes, he's the one that talks.
Did y'all
What?
hear, speaking of dogs, did y'all hear my dogs fighting in the background just now? They're now wrestling.
I did.
don't-
Who won?
The younger but bigger one.
Yay! Social Darwinism in full swing.
The bigger
Right.
younger brother. Or
You
sister.
now rule the
The
pack.
defender of the
Congratulations.
You're gonna have to have
No,
one
she's a
put
little
down
too
now.
dumb. She knows how to throw her weight around because she's twice as big as her older sister. So
Ah,
This is where you got to get your dog whisperer and go, "Excuse me, I am the pack leader." It's like do the on the nose.
oh no,
It's like,
I muted my mic. I muted my mic and hissed at them, and they went, "Oh shit," and ran away.
Oh, mummy's
Okay.
angry. No, the food provider is cranky. Run for our lives. Ah. Dogs. See, a cat wouldn't. You could do
Yeah,
that with a
I was
cat.
thinking a cat. Well, cat
Yeah.
wouldn't give a shit.
My cat, like seriously, I found my cat scratching one of my guitars once, and I just went, "What the fuck?" And the cat stopped and it looked at me, and it stared
kept
at me
doing
for
it?
about a good 3 seconds, and it just slowly, and its eyes kept on me to the very last second, and it basically turned its head, but its eyes didn't move off me, and it turned back and just started clawing at the fucking guitar, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" It stopped again, and it went back for a third go, and I clapped my hands together and ran it, and the cat then did the abandoned mission run for your life thing and did the hectic run around the room, up on the couch, did 3 laps, and then fucked off into the bedroom. It's like I'll confuse him and dazzle him with just chaotic maneuvers. And cats are assholes. If you don't own a cat, I advise you just look at cat videos on YouTube, because you don't deal with fur, cat poop, cat pee, and you don't deal with your fucking furniture being
Also, no
fucking
one ever thinks
destroyed.
that a cat
It's
lick.
literally
When
named
cats
the
lick
bastard.
you, oh my god, that shit fucking causes a rash.
Oh, it's like sandpaper. They got little
Yeah.
hooks, nearly. It's like
Yeah, that's
barbarous
why they
hooks.
have fur balls. It's a great way of getting rid of parasites. But in the process, when they
Hey,
show
guys.
respect by going,
somebody just bought a computer on Pimp's wish list.
Oh,
"Ah, muzzle top."
Yay.
yes. To the person that did that,
Hooray.
thank you very much. You're
Wow.
awesome.
That was a
Yeah.
righteous
You get-
thing to do.
But
You
whoever
get
did
all the
that,
good karma.
You guys are fucking amazing. And with that, it is time to end the show.
Perfect timing. We're nearly 2 hours in.
Yeah. And then on a positive,
So,
yay.
do Fit and Lev, do you guys have anything that you would like to shill?
Fit, you go first.
Thanks, you're so kind. I just started my YouTube channel. I just put up a second video very late in the evening last night. Gonna be doing more than makeup, but for now I'm just trying to get in my groove when it comes to YouTube. So yeah, go like and share and sub and all that bullshittery.
You're doing a
Okay.
lot better, a lot quicker than I was when I started off. I subbed to you a few days ago, and
Thanks.
it's interesting. In fact, Fit, I would love to have you on Bearded Ramblings sometime with Krendar and myself,
sure.
and perhaps our next one. Fantastic. I'll reach out to you. Yeah. As for me, I have to go up to the shop and pick up something real quick. And when I get back, I then have to consume that something real quick. But after that, we are hopping onto Euro Truck Simulator 2 for the new DLC of Iberia. Who wants some Portugal? Who wants some Spain? No one? Well, good, because I'll be drinking and driving, and we'll have some jazz in the background, and it's going to be a classic low energy experience. In fact, most people out of the DFF community think that's all I do. I just drive trucks and get drunk. They're half right. They're half right.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, I'll
And,
drop by and say good day.
Yeah, fantastic. And you know what, Krenar has been tossing your name out as well, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it myself. We should get you on sometime as well.
Yeah, mate. I'd love to come and hang out. Be good fun.
Fantastic. Also, speaking of, Missy, you're going to be joining me and Krenda and Magicus, I do believe, in our neck of the woods. We call him O Marcus. If Hannibal and Monty give him a name, then I give him a name. Everyone needs to give him a name. He has nicknames.
He's a man of many names.
The man of mystery, the man of Magicus. But yeah, that's my shill. Besides that, but check out Low Energy videos and blah 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 blah.
Cool.
Shabby, are you streaming today?
Yeah, I might stream in just a little bit.
Yay.
Just
You
a
should-
little bit.
Should drop by Shabisky streams because some say he's the greatest.
It's true. See,
And you should buy some of his merch. And if all the other channels have got some merch, you should buy some of their merch and you should subscribe and join their Patreon. And also to the person that bought that PC, you're a fucking legend. Thank you. Thumbs up.
Yes.
Alpha King
Yeah.
Chad with an impressively girthy penis, and if you know
You
his
have
penis,
big
a spectral
peen,
penis.
Big peen energy. That is some
Yeah.
big peen.
Not
energy.
too big that it would ruin time for other people, but big enough that everyone will know that was you after the fact. The
Everyone
next
knows.
person after
It's you
will be a
guys.
thin shaft, and those will
It's-
be people who won't donate.
Yeah, it's nearly as big as Tommy's, and Tommy's hung like a Mallee bull. It blocks out the sun. These morning wood,
the word
it's
on
like
the internet.
causes eclipses. It's massive, frightening.
He's the tripod from the War of the Worlds. He's
in
just he's walking around on 3 legs.
in some circles they call him Cockthulu. Just saying.
Thank you. All right, my dears, my loves. We will be back tomorrow. I don't know if Pimp will be here. I don't remember who the guests are, but we will be here to
Yeah.
brighten your day.
Yeah.
And with that, I love you all. Stay safe, wash your hands, and stay away from stupid people. Goodbye.
Except for us.
Bye.
Oh.